What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your two normal hosts, myself and JD from Line Movers, but we also have Hefe Picks here. Coming in, we have a big NBA slate. If you guys don't already follow Hefe, make sure you do on X, on Twitter, on the Bluebird, whatever the hell you call the app that we all love. Check him out. Hefe Picks is down there. He's one of the best NBA cappers in the business. We have a beautiful slate today, fellas. We're going to be going over a few NBA games. We have some college basketball games as well. Quickly over to the comments. Joe is here. You're on Twitter today, Joe. We usually see you in the YouTube. Welcome back as always. We appreciate you being here. Fellas, I'm excited to be here. Like I said, it's a beautiful slate. Hefe, welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, fellas. Excited to talk some basketball.
There we go. We love having you on, man. Welcome back. I think this is your fifth or sixth time, and you've given out winners every time. So, people, listen to what Hefe has to say. JD, how are you today, my brother?
Man, I am doing great, man, and it is a beautiful day here, and I am ready to talk some basketball.
Hell yeah, brother. And shout out Diamond Dog, who is here. It's a great CBB slate, he's saying. Fire slate. We have a couple fire games we are excited to go over. So, fellas, before we do, you know what we always do. We go through a quick recap of how we did on Monday. I will be short and sweet. I was absolutely terrible. We lost the Cavaliers by 2. Was a good game. They should have been able to cover. They did not get it done for me. And the over last night, just too many turnovers as both teams were getting down the field, costed me there. So not a great day, but excited to dive back in and get it right today. JD, how was your day yesterday?
It's pretty good. Yeah, man, like Cavs won. What are they, 12-0 now?
Yep.
But they did not cover, and I did not give that play out. I'm just I thought about it the whole day, and I was like, damn it, I just can't do it. And I had the read; it was right there, just didn't do it. So I'm a little bit mad there.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. As far as our actual Winthrop game, the spread covered. I believe they were inside that spread actually the whole entire game. The team total did not come close. That was one of the ugliest college basketball games I've ever seen. As far as VT, they may be worse than I actually thought. So that will be very actually interesting to see going forward. Florida, man. Florida first half was the play that I was going to give out here. They absolutely smashed that. Then because that number was actually gone on the show by the showtime, I switched to the Florida team total over. They came up 2 points short.
Yep.
If anybody watched that game, Florida should have scored 100 there. Kind of wild. They missed so many easy shots, but anyway, yeah. Then the football game last night was just drunk. I like
the whole game made no sense. It was similar to the Sunday night game too.
Yeah.
Made no sense. Back to back prime time. No
Sunday night game at least was a great game. That was worth staying up. I swear I blinked my eyes last night and it was the fourth quarter.
Yeah, there was just nothing memorable.
I was just like, did halftime even happen? Was it a first half? It was just so sloppy. Every time you looked up, one of the quarterbacks was on the ground.
Yeah, it was exactly a great way to put that game. It was a snoozer, but we got through it. Hopefully it'll be a better slate of games today. I'm excited to dive in. Hef, how'd you do yesterday?
I did okay. Honestly, I had a lot of plays on the football game. The only one I didn't hit was the over, and I still can't understand how Matthew Stafford didn't see Kyren Williams wide open for a touchdown. That would have hit my over. I've actually watched replay 7 times. I'm getting really angry just thinking about it.
Stafford had a shitter.
But Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown, that hit. And I had a few NBA plays, got really lucky, caught Clippers at plus 6.5 versus the Thunder, ended up losing by 6. By the way, I don't know if anybody realized.
Yep.
Shea was the tallest guy in the starting lineup, pretty much. He wasn't playing center, but he was the tallest guy. Did you guys see what he did last night? Because he dropped 45.
And he's out for 2 months now, though.
Who, SGA?
No, Chet. You said Chet.
Chet's out for 10 weeks. They have to figure something out, but that team is so talented, and yet somehow Jokic is going to get his 4th MVP in 5 years because he's playing. He's not even having. He's just not even taking it seriously. He's really not. It's actually incredible.
It's so crazy to watch a guy like Jokic who doesn't enjoy his job. He's like a normal, everyday American going to their corporate job that doesn't want to be there. They're 9 to 5. He thinks that the NBA is a 9 to 5. He goes out there. He's never happy. Just puts the ball in the net, plays defense, gets assists, gets the rebound. He is an absolute joy to watch play basketball because he's just so funny to watch. He just looks like he doesn't care, but he's still the best player by far in the league. He just every year. Just continues to impress with his size. Over to the comments, fellas. Before we get into today's slate, Nick Castrucci is here. We appreciate you tuning in as always, Nick. He's channeling his inner Christian Laettner vibes for tonight. Little spoiler alert, we will be talking about that game, so you will be able to hear our breakdown of that one. Hottie Toddy saying, welcome back, Hefe. One of the greats. Could not agree more. We're pumped to have Hefe on today. And fellas, we're about 5 minutes into the show. We have about 500 people here. I think it is time we dive into the first game of the slate. You boys ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it. First game we're breaking down today is going to be the Knicks taking on the 76ers. This game has a couple big storylines. We will see Joel Embiid return for the 76ers tonight. However, the Sixers will not have Tyrese Maxey. On the Knicks side, they have a lot of questionables, a couple game time decisions of some role player bench guys. Deuce McBride's a true game time decision. Cameron Payne, another backup point guard, true game time decision. Knicks still do not have Precious Achiuwa. They're waiting to see him get back. They are thinking he'd come back within the next couple days. And Mitchell Robinson will be out till at least the start of next year. Hefe, we circling the wagons? What do we like in the Knicks tonight?
First, I want to ask you guys a question. Does anybody put any importance on the fact that this is the first game in the NBA Cup? Or does that not matter whatsoever, you think? Because I honestly, when Adam Silver, he's done some great things for the NBA. I was not a fan of the play-in tournament, and I'll be the first one to say, wow, that thing is amazing.
Yep.
This thing, I don't know. It was whatever last year, and I look at it like, okay, I really couldn't care less that this is an NBA Cup game. But anyway, let's get so that was my question. Any points, right? Don't care.
Well, for actually me, as far as the NBA, is I one of the things about the NBA why I'm such a low volume guy is because so many guys sit, so many last minute guys sit, and for some teams and some spots, it's so hard to tell when they're gonna try. So for me, all this does for me is say these teams are actually gonna try to win. So as far as me betting them, I actually do like it from actually that standpoint. So
I think it's more, my opinion on it is it's more team-based. This Knicks team and this 76ers team definitely has a rivalry. They definitely want to beat each other. So regardless of it, this is the first Knicks 76ers game of the year. Because it's these two teams, I don't think it matters what game this counts towards. Either way, it counts towards the series. And either way, these are two teams in the Eastern Conference that have aspirations of making it to the NBA Finals. So this is a big game, a true test. So I think because it's these two teams, that's what we're going to get. Hefe, what do you think about this specific game, though?
Well, first, let me answer. We have a comment here from Aiden. He's asking if the NBA Cup is the same as the in-season tourney. It is. It's the same thing. That's just what they're calling it, the NBA Cup. But let's get to the Knicks 76ers. I'm going to focus really on the Knicks here. Everybody knows me and you, Alpha, huge Knicks fans, die hard. We live and breathe this team. 9 games in, I see 3 big issues. Issue number 1, defense has taken a little bit of a step back. Maybe that's because you have different players playing bigger roles. Maybe it's because people aren't, putting in that just that tenacity yet because it's so young into the season. I don't know, but I don't like it. Issue number 2. Karl Anthony Towns might be one of the worst low post defenders I've ever seen in my entire life.
Let me put this on the screen as you're saying this, because this is exactly what we're talking about.
Bang. Offensively, he's our best player. Rebounding wise, he's the only guy who can get a rebound.
Yep.
But defensively, in the low post, in the paint, he is just a tree that can't move. And all you got to do is one move this way or one move that way, and you're scoring. And number 3, and this has to be talked about, how in the world are we 9 games in? And I looked at the minutes played for our last game, and every single starter was 40-plus minutes.
Yep.
What is going on? This is not sustainable. With that being said, I think the best thing that happened is that Joel Embiid's first game back is today. He is in no way, shape, or form ready for this type of a matchup, mentally, physically, game speed-wise, minutes-wise. The Knicks, I think, are going to benefit from him being in and Maxey being out because I think that's actually the best matchup for them. So give me the Knicks. Give me them on the money line. -145 is what I see it at. I think they win. I just think sometimes you got a team's number. We have this team's number. We know we can handle Embiid. We know that we can't handle Maxey, and he's not playing. How do you feel about the state of NY Sports? Was the best chance to bring a banner to the state?
We just got one.
Yeah, come on, man. Got one. Hey, it's 2024. New York Liberty are freaking here, baby. Right? Got a huge back tattoo of Sabrina Ionescu. Right?
Yep. He's going to show it next show. If he sweeps today, he will come on and show you his full back tattoo of Sabrina Ionescu.
I'll be honest. I think the Rangers are probably probably in line to be that team that has the
that
best
pains you.
chance.
That pains you, doesn't it?
But I have to see it to believe it because they can't get past that hump in the playoffs. How can you not say the Yankees? They were just in the World Series, but it really depends on we know who. So,
yeah, are we counting the Buffalo Bills because they're in New York?
We are, but I don't think they have the best chance because sadly they have a team from Kansas City that plays in a stadium called Arrowhead in their division in their conference. I'm sorry, that is the team of destiny. After what I saw on Sunday.
It was unbelievable. I agree. We were texting about that too. It's just, it feels like it's the Chiefs' year, but it's early in the year. Injuries happen and a lot of things happen in the NFL. I personally think it's the Bills. The Bills or the Yankees, maybe even the Mets, but football, the two real, New York City teams, well, really New Jersey teams, Giants and Jets, don't have a chance for a minimum of 5 years.
You don't deserve your work.
The Yankees, I don't think are, without a couple big additions this offseason, I don't think the Yankees are going to be in a position to have as deep a run next year as they did this year. So the state of New York is in shambles. We all thought the Knicks were the best team, but so far it's taken a little while for the Knicks to get going. On to this game, I'm taking the Knicks on the money line. I'm not messing around with the points here. They are the more complete team that has a lot of longevity throughout the season. Their guys have all been playing with each other. They're starting to create that chemistry. It hasn't been great so far, but I do think it's going to only get better and stronger as this team goes on.
You're not
for the
worried,
70s. Right? No, I'm not. For the Knicks outlook on the season?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Not 9 games into the season when you have, 3 to 4 new starters, guys who were injured coming back into the fold. You know how I feel about this. Not the biggest OG Anunoby guy. I think they paid him way too much money, but I do think the team is a complete team. They're still good enough to be a top 3-4 team in the Eastern Conference.
And they will.
And it's going to take, and they will be. They absolutely will be. It's just going to take a little bit of time. They're going to get it right tonight, though. I think this is a big game for them. Tibbs is getting these boys all fired up. Jalen Brunson is getting these boys all fired up. Josh Hart is getting these boys all fired up.
Let's not forget, Jalen Brunson's coming off a bad injury, a surgery late in the summer because we made it far into the playoffs. It's going to take him a little while to get just his hand back to where it belonged. That's how it is. And also, let's not forget, Mitchell Robinson and Precious Achiuwa, 2 big men are out. We only have one big man right now.
Let's be fair. Mitchell Robinson never plays. He's never there, so he's always hurt. He's not a real human being to New York fans because you never see him. He's a fake human. So we're going to right into the show. So I'll quickly say again, I am on the Knicks money line, and it's definitely one of my favorite plays today. They should be able to get it done without any issues. JD, you riding with the boys? You're going against us?
You know what? If I had to play this game, it would definitely be it. It actually would definitely be Knicks here.
Oh, thank God. I was about to leave.
I was going to be upset.
I was going to be upset. It was going to be a 30-minute rant.
The problem for me here is I did not look at this line actually last night, and you could have got them as an actual dog here.
Yeah.
So I can't come back and lay around a minus 140 now.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't do that. Just kind of goes against everything that actually I do. If this number would be for some reason to come back down into the minus 120 range, I just don't see that happening. You both made all great points here. For the 76ers to win tonight, I guess it's going to have to be actually a Paul George night.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
Another one that doesn't exist.
Yep.
I was about to say, he's going to have to go off, and from what I've seen so far this season, he's just not going to do that.
Yep.
So, yeah, for me, this is a clear action Knicks spot. Like I said, just for me, the value is not currently there. The rest of my notes, y'all literally said everything here. While y'all were talking, I was looking at props. Cats points tonight is sitting at 23.5. That seems a little bit low.
I agree.
To actually me.
Anybody know an Embiid minutes limit? Has that been said? Is he out?
No, they have not announced it yet.
That's probably what that's playing off of. There's no way he plays 30 plus. I can't see it.
I was about to say I would expect 28 max.
Yeah, me too.
And then as far as the Bridges line, it's at 13 and a half. He hasn't been doing.
He is not. He's not been doing anything.
But I can do an entire show on the disappointment of Mikal Bridges in 9 games.
But just for the number, the value though, I actually don't mind that one though.
Okay, so we got a little Bridges action here. One thing I did want to say as well, it's kind of funny. Everybody hated Tobias Harris on the 76ers the last 3-4 years, right? He's been the worst thing for them. He's making too much money. He's not producing. He's not doing what you need him to do. Tobias Harris in his career with Philly has a higher shooting percentage than Paul George is this year. He has a higher points per game than Paul George has this year. He had more rebounds per game than Paul George has this year. The only stat Paul George is doing better than the guy he replaced, Tobias Harris, who was known as one of the biggest disappointments in Philadelphia sports history, is 1.5 assists more per game. So early on, the Paul George experiment has not looked great.
Let me also say something before we move on about the Paul George experiment. Never a better case of addition by subtraction than when you see what's going on with the Clippers right now. Look at their role players from previous years and how they're playing, especially Norman Powell. I mean, it just goes to show you that sometimes it is quantity over quality, right?
And is that the fear with the Knicks right now? I don't want to talk about this game all show, but that's the fear with the Knicks, right? We lost all the depth on the bench. They have no bench anymore. Their bench is averaging 9 points per game, and the guys who are now starting are not putting up the numbers they're expected to. So similar thing could be going on with the Knicks. That's the one big fear I have there. Same. Let's keep it moving so we can actually get to the other games we have on the slate today. Second game we're breaking down, which I promise will not be as long as a breakdown, will be the 8-2 Phoenix Suns, who are taking on the 2-7 Utah Jazz. The Jazz have yet to win a game at home this season. They are 0-4, and it could be because of their lengthy injury report. We all know what happened to Taylor Hendricks. He broke his leg. Keontae George is a true game-time decision tonight. I don't think he goes. There's been notes that he did not go through shoot-around this morning. But on the other side, Kevin Durant is out for the Suns. Nurkic is a true game-time decision, and this line's a little interesting as it's only a 3.5 when the Suns are significantly a better team than Utah. Hefe, what do you like in this one?
Interesting line. I think it obviously points to, KD being out, but not like the Suns are breadth of talent. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, both those guys are playing. And I just think the Jazz are bad. Markkanen's the best player. They paid him a buttload of money. Why? I don't know. Just to be on the treadmill of mediocrity for the next 5 years, I guess. But I'm going to take it's not my favorite play of the day. I'm taking the Suns. They are 8-2. They're playing great basketball. I know most of it's been because Kevin Durant's having a resurgence of a year. But Bradley Beal's still talented. Devin Booker is extremely talented. Both of those players way more talented than anybody the Jazz has. -3.5 Suns.
Here's a fun stat for you. The Suns have a great record, right? They're 8-2 on the year. Everyone thinks everything's hunky-dory over there. They're 3-7 against the spread. So the Suns have not been covering games this year. We see here that the Utah Jazz are 2-7 on the year, but they're 4-5. So they've covered more games than Phoenix this season so far. I'm going to be on the Jazz in this spot at home against a Phoenix team that doesn't have KD, that probably will not have Yusuf Nurkic, and they're coming in off 2 nights ago an overtime loss against Sacramento. Give me the Jazz. They should be able to keep this one close, if not win. The line to me should be closer to a 7 and an 8. I think they're baiting you to take the Suns. So give me the Jazz. The Jazz will get it done at home. JD, what do you got?
Yeah, man, you actually said that great. These two teams, if you've actually been backing either team, you are down. Just like you said, the Suns against the spread are 3-7. The Jazz, I actually have them at 3-5-1. So actually neither team has actually been a good back here. As far as covering, the Jazz have not only not won a home game, they've also not covered national home game yet. Just like y'all said, or actually like Jeff said, the Suns would have to be my lean here. It's kind of like the actual Knicks game for me though, showing a little bit of value, but not enough to actually like jump in here. But once again, I don't see this line going actually down more. So it's just going to be a lean on the Suns here.
I like it. And we have a question in the chat about this game on a player prop. Joe is asking, how do we feel about the Bradley Beal over on points? I'm pulling that up right now. Give me 1 second. They have that weird thing tonight on FanDuel. Let me see if I can get the actual line where they're just giving us 10 plus 15 points.
Just,
21 and a half, but it's juicy -130 on FanDuel.
Just from a spacing aspect, he's obviously going to have a lot more opportunities and floor space because, he's going to probably take over that wing spot that usually Kevin Durant will hold. But if I'm taking anybody's points, I'm taking Devin Booker's points. He's going to be the ball handler tonight, and I don't look for him to pass.
Yeah, Booker's prop is at 28.5, and I agree with you. If there's anyone in the starting lineup that I would take, it's probably going to be Devin Booker, but also Tyus Jones, who sometimes starts, sometimes comes off the bench, depending on injuries. His prop is at 12.5 today, and I actually like that one. I think Tyus Jones could have a big performance. I'm a big fan of Tyus Jones, and when he's had to step up throughout his career, when guys have gone down, that's exactly what he does better than most players. He's a great guy to fill in for injuries, and I think Tyus Jones will have a big performance. So for my favorite prop on this game, it would either be Booker or Tyus Jones. JD, what do you think about any props in this one?
It would be the Booker prop. If that's only at 28 and a half here, I would definitely go with that. For the Bradley Beal prop, I wouldn't lay that much juice. If you actually do like that one, I would definitely actually bump that up an actual point, and just actually not actually lay that actual juice on it.
Take him 30 plus.
For the Bradley Beal, what was it at? 21.5?
21.5 minus 130.
130, yeah. Yeah, actually, I would just bump that up to probably actually 20, actually 2.5. Just actually get that juice down. But that actually Booker to score 30 plus is actually probably my favorite one.
I would agree. That one and the Tyus Jones for me. So I like those two. Let's keep it moving, fellas. Next game that we have on the slate is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. They're coming into this game 5-5, 1-2 on the road, going into Golden State, taking on the Warriors, who we all know have been fantastic this year. They're 8-2 on the year, and they are 2-1 at home. Crazy that they've played a lot of their games on the road, but they're returning back. Couple big question marks in this one. Over half the Dallas Mavericks starting lineup is a true game-time decision. Derek Lively, Luka Doncic, PJ Washington, all game-time decisions. We still have to wait because it is a later game. It's a 10 p.m. Eastern tip-off. We have not gotten the shoot-around notes yet, so it's hard for me to figure out who's going to be playing and who's not until I get that news, but this should be a good game either way. JD, we haven't started with you. Last NBA game we're covering today. What do you think about the Mavericks-Warriors tonight?
Yeah, man, you just said that well. I actually have to wait here. I need to know actually who is actually in here. This game to me is actually tough with actually out knowing that. If you just look at their ATS numbers, the Mavs are 4-5-1. The Warriors, I believe they are 8-2 now.
Yes, they are second in the NBA.
Yep. As a favorite, the Warriors are actually 4-1. So, like just actually we said last week, the Warriors are just finding ways to actually like win games. And actually like they're just playing good ball. So it'd be hard for actually me to go against that currently. Just like I've also talked about, when you have a team that has actually won this much, their like value is definitely completely sucked out. So this is the time that I would normally try to go against that. Against the Mavs here, just like we said, like there could be guys out here tonight. I'm not sure that this is the spot for that. So the Warriors, if you do like them, I actually would go ahead and jump on them now.
I think everyone's going to be but the way the line is right now, where it's at a 2.5, I do think they are expected to have all their guys play. But with the way the line is currently.
Right.
But I feel the same way you do. It's not going to be a play for me until I get more concrete information. If you do like the Warriors, you might want to lock that in now because I do think it may go up a point or two. But with them being a 2.5 point favorite, I do think that indicates we will see the majority of their guys. And we may see one or two of the Mavericks guys not play. Could be a PJ Washington, could be a Derek Lively. I think we will see Luka, but it could mean we don't see Lively or PJ Washington, which would make a big difference in this one. No play for me. So until I get a little more information. Before I go to Hefe, I have a little question, a little sports trivia. JD, I think you know it because you're currently looking at the sheet as well, or you were earlier because you had the record of their ATS. But who do you guys think is the number one team in the NBA ATS? JD, you cannot answer. I will leave it up to chat and Hefe. Do you know off the top of your head, Hefe? Because it's a shocker. It's not who you'd expect. Or if chat, if you know it, put it in there. We'll give you credit if you get it before Hefe.
But does anybody not know who the best one is? I know who the worst one is. It's the Hawks. I don't know who the best one is.
The Hawks are actually no longer the worst. It's now the New Orleans Pelicans covering at 17%. They are the second worst, the Hawks. It is not the Magic. It is not the Cavs, Jess. Come on. After last night, it is a good guess. The number one team is the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are the number one team in the NBA covering the spread. So this is why it's important to make sure you guys have the data and know what's going on. Because if you ask somebody who doesn't, pay close attention to what this kind of data is going to be, you're going to say, the Brooklyn Nets, who do they even have? They got rid of everybody. They traded Mikal Bridges. They're losing a lot of games, but they're covering. They are covering a ton. They are 9-2 ATS. FA, what do you like in this game? Thought that was a fun little trivia one there.
Data this, data that, throw the data out. This is a game of emotions tonight. Klay Thompson's return to the Warriors. Right. You guys have not mentioned that. And that's the storyline here. The Mavericks are going to want to have him have the best game of the season in front of that crowd that is going to give him an absolutely roaring ovation. They love him there. It's going to be emotional. Clay's going to play with a lot of emotions.
Oh, they got the hats too. You see that? They got the hats.
Giving out the sailor hats that he always wore to all the parades. He's a big boat guy, big fisherman guy. And with that being said, I'm 100,000,000,000% taking the Warriors on the money line right now. You kidding me? The Mavericks, this is an emotional game. While the Warriors are coming out here strictly business. You think Buddy Hield gives a crap about Klay Thompson coming back? Absolutely freaking not. He took his spot, and let me tell you something. They are way better now because Buddy Hield is offering a lot of floor. I know. Because Buddy Hield's never had so much floor spacing because of the amount of attention that Steph Curry gets, right? So when you're getting double teamed on every single pick and roll, and that help defenders coming up, and you could go to the side and have a wide open corner three, Buddy Hield's thriving. He hasn't had this much space since he played in freaking Oklahoma. All right, so give me the Warriors money line. They're playing great basketball. Kuminga's also quietly averaging 15 points a game, playing solid. He's also, remember, he's playing for a contract, so he needs to ball out, continue balling out. Give me the Warriors on the money line, minus 145 odds. That's going to keep going up and up and up and up.
Before we get on to the college basketball segment of the show, Joe is asking, how do we feel about Warriors money line parlay? I like it as of now. Like I said, I need a little more information about this game, but if you were to lock it in now at plus 165, I don't hate it. I'm on the Jazz though, so it's not my favorite bet. I do think the Jazz cover, but if you're gonna get the money line at a plus 165, there is definitely a little bit of value there.
Maybe I'm a homer, but take the Suns out, put the Knicks in, and get that plus all the way up.
I think the Knicks really do win this one, not even because of the homer thing. This is an emotional game, and this is a big test to the Knicks. Everyone's talking about how they haven't performed. This is a big, big game in a big, big spot. They need to deliver, and Thibodeau will have the guys up for this game. All right, fellas, let's keep it moving. We're going to move to the college basketball section of this show. So I'm excited to dive in. I know JD is excited to dive in. I won't make you wait anymore, JD. First game we're breaking down is going to be the Michigan State Sparties, who are taking on the Kansas Jayhawks. Both teams coming in 2-0. We all know what happened in Kansas's last game. They won 92-89 over North Carolina at home. UNC did cover, but it was a good game from Kansas, and I'd say it was a good game from UNC as well. On the other side, Michigan State has beat teams that most people have not heard of. NIA, Niagara Purple Eagles. They did take out the Niagara Purple Eagles, and they did take out the Monmouth, New Jersey team as well. So Michigan State
have some respect for Monmouth.
Can't have too much respect for Monmouth. We're from Jersey. We know how they normally perform. Let's go Rutgers. Anyway, back to this game. JD, what do you like?
Man, this actually Kansas team is I mean like they're actually obviously a very good team. There's somebody I'm not looking to bet against anytime soon, and I'm not going to here. First off, this is a neutral court game. I can't remember what this tournament's called. Is it the Champions Classic?
Hold on, let me pull up the exact.
State Farm Champions Classic, baby.
There we go, baby.
This is the Champions Classic.
It's in Atlanta, so it's at State Farm Arena where the Hawks play.
Yep. And actually, just like Alpha said there, last game, that actually first half they were up huge. I forgot how many points they were up, but it was looking like they were going to blow them out. But then UNC second half they came back. The fact that Kansas had to overcome that and then actually still win the game, that shows me a lot. But I also think it helps this actually line here. Because actually, like if that would have been a blowout game, this would have been like Kansas -8.
Yes.
So for that, I think we're getting a big actually discount here. And then as far as on the other side, like you said, State they've played really actually like no teams.
Yeah.
So for me, you have actually Kansas, who actually has played a good team. So they know how to come out and actually fight now. The other team, they have played nobody, and I think Kansas absolutely smacks them. You can still get a -5.5. Yeah, I absolutely love that.
Yep, I'm on the same exact play, but unfortunately, the line is moving. The line is moving quickly, so if you like it, take it quick. I see it up to 7 on some books. I still see it at 6 on some books. We locked in this morning at -5, so I can let that out early. We got that at 5 earlier today. Right now, it's currently on FanDuel at 6.5 at -102, but you can get 6 at -118. So as of now, I would lock in.
-5.5 on ESPN bet.
There we go. Still 5.5 on ESPN bet. What are the odds on that? -110?
-105.
-105. Okay, lines are all over the place on this game. We're seeing it up to 7, 5, and it's juiced on both sides. So you maybe, if you're an arbitrage bettor, this might be a game you want to take a look at. I'm not personally one, but if you are, I would recommend taking a look. I'm taking Kansas as well. I'm on the same exact wavelength you are, JD, and I think we're getting a good line because of how the UNC game went. If they blew out UNC by 15 points, this would be a much steeper line, probably close to double digits. I'm not a big fan of Michigan State this year. I don't think they made a ton of great additions. They're a decent team, but they're not in the caliber of Kansas, and the Jayhawks need a big performance. Give me Kansas by the 5.5 on ESPN bet. Hefe, what you got?
Right there with you guys. Kansas -5.5. I like the fact that Kansas is battle tested. They face a North Carolina team that is obviously upper echelon in talent versus the two teams that Michigan State has faced off this year. I also love the grad transfer from San Diego State. I think Zeke Mayo. I'm guessing on that, but I think it is South Dakota State. Sorry, South Dakota State is where Zeke Mayo came from. He's the guard for Kansas, averaging 20 points a game. They obviously have Hunter Dickinson back for his 13th freaking college season.
87th year.
Yeah, 87th year. He's actually 92 years old. God bless his soul. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, they're talented. They're well coached. Not that Michigan State isn't, obviously legend Tom Izzo. But I like the fact that Kansas has already faced an opponent that they had to kind of take it to the next level, while Michigan State has faced basically two junior colleges. Give me Kansas -5.5.
Whoa. You just said we have to respect Monmouth, and you're going to call them a junior college? We'll move on. We got one game left to break down, fellas. The last game we're breaking down is going to be the Christian Laettners. We got the Duke Blue Devils taking on the Kentucky Wildcats. This is a great game. Kentucky has some new additions, including Kerr Kriisa, the guard. They are a lot of additions to Duke, where they have Cooper Flagg, the number 1 prospect in the nation. This is a big game. 6 versus 19. This is also the State Farm Championship Classic. This one is directly after the Michigan State-Kansas game. So it's in Georgia. It's a neutral court. We're going to go to Hefe this time. What do you like in this one?
Well, I mean, you said it perfectly. This is a game of two offenses that just want to score, and score. Kentucky, very talented. They're obviously going through a humongous switch around now. No Coach Cal, bring in Mark Pope. Everybody's new. I think their best player right now is Kobe Brea, transfer out of, I forgot where, Dayton maybe. But I really think he's a great player, but Duke is so talented. And they're young, so they haven't learned how to play together yet. But in terms of scoring, they have a guy whose name I'm not even going to try to say. I'm just going to say his first name is Khan. I'm going to try to say Canuple, maybe. Maybe that's how you say it. Guy's a three-point assassin. Cooper Flagg, we obviously all know about him. I'm going with you over here, guys. I think both teams are going to try to just shoot. They're going to shoot quick. They're going to shoot often. A lot of threes, little defense. I got the over 160.5, and that's what I'm rolling with.
JD, I'm on the same as Hefe. What do you got? I'll make it short and sweet because we have a lot of comments I want to jump into.
Yeah, guys, the over here definitely makes a lot of sense. If you look at specifically the Duke side, they've put up a ton of points, and those are against teams that really don't want to run. So now they have a team that they're going against tonight that does want to run.
Have some respect for Army, okay? Come on. It was Veterans Day yesterday. God damn it.
Right. But just actually both these teams are going to get out and run. So the over here to me makes a lot of sense. For me, this is a big test for actually both teams.
Yep.
This is a bigger test, I think, for Duke.
Absolutely.
This is going to show us how good Duke actually is. Because we all are here and they have this piece and this piece. This is going to show us who actually they really are.
Yeah.
With saying that, you can get 6.5 points here, and I think that's a little crazy. And everybody knows by now I don't really have that many teams. I'm not really a actual fan of that many teams. Well, I am a big Duke fan. I will say that I am a huge Duke fan, and I am going on the other side here. So if that tells you anything, it actually should. But yeah, just for actually me, just like I said, this is too many points. I would actually bet this down to probably the 4-point range. But yeah, this should be a really fun game. Should be a fast-paced game, and yeah, we actually should see a ton of points.
I respect that. Let's check the comments. Jess is saying loves the over. I agree. I think you meant this game. It might have been the last game, but for this game, I definitely love the over. And of course, Tar Heel is in here saying everything possibly negative about Duke. I wonder why with the North Carolina versus Duke rivalry. He's saying Duke got to be a fade. They are nothing. Duke is puke. A lot of negativity coming from Tar Heel about Duke. I don't think they're as bad as you're stating, but I do think that there are two players in this class, freshmen, that are better than Cooper Flagg. I'll leave it at that. I think there are two players significantly better, and they may play at Rutgers University. And they may be the second and third best prospects in the nation. Cooper Flagg came in and stole Rutgers having 1 and 2. He came in and got the second one here. Either of you guys have any picks on the Iowa game as of yet before we go into best bets and go into the current promotions? Any of you have that?
The number's about right, but you would have to lean over.
I lean over as well. Exactly how I feel. No official play yet. I may have something later, but make sure you guys stay tuned in to the Moneyball Metrics Discord. There may be some picks on this game later today. You never know. And that's a great segue to let you guys know that there are going to be big promotions from Moneyball Metrics this upcoming week. Make sure you guys are stay tuned. There's going to be different promotions every single day. Great value for you guys across all sports for the entire Moneyball Metrics team. So make sure you guys stay tuned to get those plays. Guys, it's about that time. We've broke down the NBA. We've broke down the college basketball, and there's only time for our best bets. Hefe, we're going to start with you. You got 1 for us, 2 for us, 3 for us, 48 for us. How many Knicks money line best bets you giving out?
48, 47 of them are Knicks money line. Just going to keep going up the ladder.
There we go.
-1, -2. No, I'm just kidding. I got 3. Let's start with Knicks money line straight up, -145. I think this is a big game for the Knicks, as big as it can get for the 10th game of an NBA season. Next, I'm going to take the Warriors money line, also at -145 odds. I think this is a very emotional game for the Mavericks, with Klay Thompson returning. I see the Warriors taking advantage of that. There's also a lot of game time decisions for the Mavericks in terms of players who might not play. And last, I'm going to take the over in Duke, Kentucky, 160.5. I think both these teams are going to look to be shooting. Both teams are going to be looking to get in flow into the offense. And if one team even takes a big lead, I'm not worried about that, as the other team's going to try to catch up and shoot a lot of threes. Those are my
I agree with you. I'll go into my 2 guys. I have Kansas -5, but you can take it up until 6. That's about as high as I would play it, 6.5. But definitely Kansas -5. And the New York Knicks on the money line at -145. Let's get it. JD, looking fresh. What do you got?
Let's stick with the college basketball here. I will say, so actually far on the season, the college basketball sides, I am actually 18-7. So they are definitely rolling along nicely. So let's just stick with those here. Give me Kansas. I believe it was on the ESPN bet. You can get a -5.5 at -105. I would honestly bet that up to the -7 range though. Then give me the Kentucky +6.5. You can still find that at actually FanDuel at a -112.
There we go. Well, fellas, let's put up the graphic on the screen. Take out your phones. You can see what we're on today. I'm on Kansas -5, Knicks money line. Line movers, JD, the college basketball GOAT, Kansas -5, Kentucky +6.5. Hefe, NBA GOAT, avid Knicks guy, Knicks money line, Warriors money line, Kentucky Duke over 160.5. Fellas, that's going to do it for today's show. Hefe, always a blast having you on, brother. You give some great analysis, make some great points, and give some great picks. So if you guys out there are not following Hefe, you see his @ down there. Please make sure you do. Comment. Loved you as well, Hefe. Nick Castrucci saying we need to have Hefe on more. He makes you weak. I don't know what you mean about he makes you weak, but I agree. Hefe is fantastic. Let's keep your little things to yourself, Nick. But fellas, yet again, that's going to do it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, to break down how we did, recap, and get into the new slate. JD, say goodbye to the people.
All I have to say is let's go Duke, but don't win by more than 5, though. Okay, guys?
Let's go Duke. Only win by a couple. JD taking a shot.
JD, they heard you loud and clear. They're gonna ride for you so hard for only up until they score up by 4.
I agree.
They're gonna take even the announcer's gonna be like, "This is for JD."
Hefe, Before we get out of here, give the people a piece of wisdom. What do you got for the people today?
If there's one thing you need to know going into this evening, it's when you close your eyes, you should see the Knicks winning tonight by 17 freaking points because we own the freaking Philadelphia 76ers and we're going to get it right tonight. And B means nothing to me. And Cat will have at least 2 block shots. Put the music on. Get me out of here.
Circle the wagons. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.